Recent research shows us that more and more travelers are taking to the roads and driving for their holiday travel this year instead of just flying. That doesn't mean that we aren't seeing an increase in airport traffic as more and more people are traveling as they have in the last few years. But in general, what the research is showing us is that more and more people are spending longer times in their vehicles. So for today's Wellbeing Wednesday, I want to spend some time talking about the impact of driving on well-being and what are some strategies that we can use to be able to improve our well-being even while we are doing some of these longer drives. Of course, there are general stresses that we do see through navigating traffic in general. We hear people talk about road rage and all the strategies we've talked about previously about managing our stress, about finding opportunities to utilize either muscle relaxation and breathing, different types of meditation with our eyes open while we're driving, and just those quick breaks at the traffic stops when we hit the red light to be able to take that moment to close our eyes, to be able to ground ourselves. Little strategies that we can do to make sure that we're focused on the road, but also keeping our emotions in check. Now, we do know specifically for those longer road trips, a few quick strategies for specifically. One is going to be to plan out the stops and the breaks. It's very common for us to want to push through to the next stop and the next stop, but actually we can find that by taking more breaks, that gives us the opportunity to not only just have the opportunity to walk around, stretch our legs, but it does help to keep us more focused, helps with our attention, and helps to keep our mindset in a more positive place. It can be good to set goals where we're going to know ahead of time that we want to stop so we can have those expectations, have something to look forward to, and know that we're accomplishing small wins along a longer drive. That's also why it's very important to plan out meals. Many times when we're traveling, we either will not eat enough and then we can see changes in blood sugar, which can have an impact on our mood, on our emotions, as well as our ability for focus and attention. Or then we maybe get to that last moment where we're really hungry and we may rely on food options that aren't the most healthy. So being able to plan meal breaks along the way, especially if we're very consistent when we usually eat our meals on the average day, then our body knows when to feel hungry and when to expect those nutrients to help with managing our blood sugar and our focus. It's also going to be important for temperature regulation. When we're doing longer drives, many times we'll be driving through areas where the temperatures may be significantly increasing or decreasing depending on where we're driving. So paying extra attention to be aware and conscious of the temperature in the car and the temperature around us, because we know that when it can be warmer, that can impact us feeling more tired and sleepy. When it's colder, that will play a role in us feeling more awake and alert. And of course, you can utilize things like a playlist. So putting on some music, maybe creating and working with the Discover option by Spotify, where you listen to brand new music, picking a different radio station. If you listen to something that's not as familiar, many times that can help us to be more alert, but we also want to be careful. Yes, it's important maybe to think about listening to audiobooks and other opportunities to again help us to be awake, but we want to make sure that we don't become so focused on those opportunities that we're not paying attention to the road. But finding something to keep us more awake, like noise, music, and podcasts and audiobooks can be a great option as well. Be well and safe travels.